Welcome to PLZ Soccer's Viaplay Cup Final preview. I'm your host Adam Binnie and delighted to say I'm joined by two men who have sampled the fierce red hot rivalry of the Old Firm before. Celtic legend Frank McAvennie and former Rangers player Neil Murray. Frank, first of all, I'll start with yourself. These games, they're always huge, but when it's at Hampden, 50-50 fan split and a trophy up for grabs, it really doesn't get much bigger than this.
Doesn't get much better than that, never mind bigger. It's when it's 50-50, as you say, the split. It's the supporters are a great day out. This game gets shown all around the world, and it's huge. You know, I lived in England a lot of years, and it's the only game that they watch down there. They don't want to watch Celtic and Aberdeen or Rangers and Aberdeen. They want to watch Celtic and Rangers, and they go to the pub to watch that. So it's a good game. So I hope it's a spectacle. Both teams are playing well, and I hope that continues. But normally when that happens, it's, you know, they close each other out. But I'm hoping that it's an open game and there's goals and excitement, and we're not talking about some VAR decision or something come Monday. I hope it's about football.
And Neil, just on that point about the 50-50 fan split, we don't see big away allocations anymore in league matches between these two sides. Just how big will the influence of having an equal set of fans be in this match?
I think it does make a difference. You know, it is difficult going away from home and playing not in front of your own fans. You know, I think we've seen in the last season and a half Rangers going to Celtic Park and really been dominated in a couple of games, and likewise Rangers getting good results against Celtic at home. And over the last year and a half, as I say, there's been 7 games and it's been more or less 50-50. I think Celtic edge it just a little bit and wins one win more, but Rangers have been here and beaten Celtic at Hampden in recent times, so it should hold no fears for them, and yeah, with the backing of their home support, then I'm pretty sure they'll look to get a victory.
Frank, who do you see as the key men for Celtic going into this one?
There's so many. You know, you're talking about Tilleman's a man at the moment with Rangers, but Morelos, he was a talisman for years, and he went off the ball. He's starting to play games now, and the more games he gets, the better he'll become again, the sharper he'll become. But you know, they've got Kent, but I look at Celtic. They're dangerous in every department. You know, Hatate's scoring goals for fun now, and he's 2-footed. He sees passes that people don't see, and he can play them, which is even better. Sometimes players can see the pass, but they can't commit to doing it, and he can do it. So, and he's got his wee pal up front, Kyogo. I think he could be. His pace frightens me watching it. So it's got to frighten Coulson and Davis if that's the pairing, because they would have preferred a big Yakimakis or something up front, because they would have, thought they could handle him. Tussle, but this wee guy will be running and he makes some great runs, and he'll be pulling them all over the place. So
yeah, Neil, just on that point about Kyogo, I mean, we've seen it in last year's final against Hibs, the 2 goals. It's just one ball in behind, and his pace is frightening, ruthless in front of goal. How do Rangers stop him?
Well, it's difficult to stop Kyogo. He's got 22 goals in all competitions this year for Celtic, and the fact is, as Frank said, he makes really intelligent runs. He plays in the shoulder of defenders. He can come short, take it. He can mix defenders up, go short, go long in behind. He's very difficult to play against. That's clear. And yeah, I suppose that both Rangers central defenders need to be on top of their game, communicate well between each other, and just make sure that one of them's covering them, which I'm pretty sure they will do. I think in games against Rangers Celtic games, Kyogo's played well, but I don't think he's been prolific as such. So, I'm sure they're capable of handling Kyogo, albeit of course he's a great striker. But I think, as Frank said, the most important thing for me is the wide areas. Abada scored a lot of goals against Rangers from the wide areas. Barisic at sometimes has had issues dealing with them. Forrest can score, Haksabanovic can score, Jota on the other side. The threat from Celtic in the wide areas, I think, is a key issue for Rangers that they need to defend against.
We saw in the last game, Neil, between these two sides, it was a draw, but Rangers played very well. What do they need to change, and what do they need to do differently this time to get a victory?
I think the last game, if you're using the last game as a benchmark, they don't really need to change too much. Okay, as a former defender or defensive-minded player, my opinion of that game was that Rangers defended poorly for both goals. I mean, the defending was terrible. If they defend properly, they've got a chance. You know, and I think that's the key to Rangers' success is defend well, make sure you nullify Celtic's threat, and then you've got to take care of your own chances when they arise. And again, that comes down to players, as Frank said, like Morelos, if he starts to put in a performance, Tillman if he's fit, who scored a lot of goals for Rangers this season, to put in a performance, and others. You know, Rangers have managed to get goals from different areas of the park. Then it's for others to step up and make a difference.
Frank, for Celtic then, how would you like to see them attack this match? Of course,
Celtic they only play one way. They don't know any other way. You won't see them defending. You know, that's their biggest problem. Sometimes they attack too much and they leave themselves open.
Would you like to see them go a little bit more conservative then for this one?
Nah. I enjoy watching it. You know, I enjoy. It's a breath of fresh air, isn't it? You know, and I don't think Ange would. He doesn't like defending. He used to be a defender. He said, I don't like it, so he just doesn't want to do it. So he would rather keep them busy. And you know, Jota's always had a good game against Tavernier. You know, even Maeda, because he'll chase Tavernier up and down. He might get the nod because he will chase Tavernier and then he'll create the space for himself because he'll run away for Tav. So that could be an interesting battle. You know, and as I say, just Kyogo against the two defenders. You know, they've got to watch what they're doing. One's got to drop. And a couple of times the two of them have been sort of a level with each other. And if that happens, Kyogo getting behind them and certainly Atati and, you know, Riley and that, they'll find the passes. So I'm looking for a good game. I hope that everything that's happening this week, you know, it's we're all talking the game up and we're talking, and sometimes it's like a hopeless game. Hopefully this weekend, you know, we live up to it and the whole world sees how good Scottish football is.
Yes, you're hoping for a great game, as we all are. But both of you have been involved in some fantastic matches between these two sides over the years. Neil, have you got any favourite memories from the old firm? And do you actually ever allow yourself any time to reflect on some of the lighter side of these matches? Because it's also serious at times.
Well, I suppose there are lighter sides to it. I mean, every victory against Celtic is a good victory from a Rangers perspective, and when I played, we had some good victories against Celtic. 4-2 at Parkhead was one that I played in, which was a good one, and 3-1 at Hampden when the stadium was getting refurbed at Celtic Park. Again, another great game. But you know, throughout these matches, I remember playing against Frank, and he was an incredibly good striker. A bit similar to Kyogo, you know, wouldn't give you a minute's peace, really hard worker, would close you down, make you think. But he always had a minute for a bit of banter off the ball as well, you know. And Charlie Nicholas was the same. And I think even on these tense occasions, both teams feel the same pressure. So, you know, there is that bit of levity now and again between the players during these matches as well, you know.
Frank, what would you be saying to
the only thing I've got in common with Kyogo is none of the two can speak good English. But yeah, listen, we used to have a lot of banter, and when Coyster was the same. Coyster was just, he wouldn't shut up, you know. It was just, but the crowd don't see that, you know. But he was winding you up, and you try to drag you in, talk to you, and they would say talk to you, and then all of a sudden they run away from you, like, and you're not watching the ball, you know. That was good. It was all good. I was fortunate playing up front. I could do it in the other two, so I used to have to contend with Butcher and Goffey and all that, so that was I used to contend with them, but it was great, you know. My best game, you know, apart from the cup final when I was scoring here, but was at Ibrox when Hampden was getting fixed and they had to toss a coin, the semi-final, and Rangers won, so we had to play at Ibrox, and walking out at Ibrox and seeing half green, half blue, it was just incredible atmosphere. Unfortunately we get beat 1-0, but it was a great occasion, you know. So you know, I just like scoring against Rangers, and I've done it a few times, so it was nice.
Yeah, we've spoken a lot about the interaction yourselves have had between yourselves and opposition players, but what's that interaction like between yourselves and teammates in the dressing room in the build-up to these cup finals? Do you allow yourself plenty of time to talk about it and build it up?
Well, absolutely, and as I say, I think in the past there were more Scottish players that played for both sides, and I think the intensity in that sense to the game was a bit higher. And the rivalry between the players was high, so both sides didn't want to lose. Certainly from a Rangers point of view, you know, when Souness was the gaffer, he was very keen not to lose against Celtic. Walter likewise, Archie, and then you had some key players. You know, at the time when I was at Rangers, you know, the spine of the team, you could have picked anybody as a captain for the club, to be quite honest. And I think John Brown and Ian Ferguson in particular were ones that they demanded performances from everybody, because you couldn't leave anything else in the dressing room. You had to go out and give 100%.
Any memorable team talks from, as you said, from Walter Smith or Graham Souness? Anything that really sticks in your mind about these matches from them?
Not really. I think the players took care of it a lot themselves. I think the managers left it to the players, and if they saw something that they didn't like, they'd maybe change it a little bit from there. The one thing I do remember actually is, again at Hampden, we lost 3-1 at the end of the season against Celtic. We'd won the league effectively, but we lost the game, and that was one of the few times I saw Walter Smith raging with the players. And I think he just felt that the standards had slipped, and he really shot a warning across our bows after that match. So it wasn't so much him delivering a team talk to win, it was delivering a bit of a retribution after the game for losing.
Frank, any similar ones from yourself?
I think the biggest thing is, as Neil said, we're a lot of people from Scotland, and we knew what it meant. And you know, when you've got Tommy Burns and Roy Aitken, people shouting at you, it's for the fans, you know, because you win, then they're in a good place for the next week when they go back to work and all that. And it's, you know, it's an old cliche, but it's true, because they go to work and they give their pals pelters, you know, and that's part and parcel of it. And we do the same, you know, when we win, you know, we used to get a good laugh when we met up with each other in a nightclub or something, so it was good fun. And we used to give each other pelters, but it was good, all good fun. You know, on the park there was no love lost. We kicked 7 bills at each other, and but then we'll have a beer after it, and you know, and it was all good.
So you said you were able to still socialise with players from the opposition club. What would you be saying to them in the wake of these matches?
I never bought a drink. Funny that, innit? No, listen, you're allowed out. Big Bully would allow you out. What was the same with Rangers, I know that. You know, got to go out and enjoy yourself, and there's a time and a place for having a drink. Social media now, back in the day it wasn't like that. Social media is a big thing now, so I don't know if I'd be able to do it now. I'd try anyway. You know.
Well, back on to this weekend's game on Sunday. Neil, can I just push you for a little score prediction and why you believe it will go that way?
Well, if Rangers play to the best of their ability and they manage to defend well, I think they've got every chance of winning the game. You know, similar to the last time we beat Celtic at Hampden. But I think it would take a maximum performance from all players. And in any final you need a little bit of luck as well. In terms of prediction, I hope, like Frank, it's going to be an open game. I hope there's going to be lots of goals in it. Normally finals are tense affairs. I would like to think maybe 2-1 Rangers.
Frank, yourself?
I'm going the other way, as you can imagine, but I hope it's a bit warmer today. But the boys, listen, if it's a good day, the fans go there. If Celtic turn up and play, I really don't see Rangers. I mean, they're getting better, there's no doubt about it. Bill's put them in a structure, but you know, they done well last year. Rangers, they were, you know, Gio was a couple of games away from getting a statue outside Ibrox, and all of a sudden he's hopeless now. So I would think it's going to be a good game, but if Celtic play to their ability, they'll win 2-0.
Yeah, we're all hoping for a fantastic game here at Hampden Park on Sunday. If you want to make sure you're kept up to date with all the latest breaking news and everything surrounding the big match on Sunday, make sure you are following PLZ Soccer across all of our social media channels. Thank you and goodbye.